The idea of letting go and embracing life in its fullest potential is something we all can relate to, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. It is a concept that seems easy enough when spoken in words, but challenging when we attempt to translate it into our daily lives. The concept of letting go isn't about surrendering to life's challenges or becoming passive in the face of adversity. Instead, it is about actively choosing to release the things that bind us to our past, to old emotional patterns, and to beliefs that no longer serve us. It is about forcing yourself to step away from the safety of old habits and stepping into a life full of new possibilities. There's a tendency among us all to hold on to the familiar. This familiarity may be in the form of past experiences, the limitations we've placed on ourselves, or even certain emotional states that we have learned to define who we are. Yet, despite the safety they provide, these attachments can keep us stuck. The truth is that we often become addicted to our emotions, our stories, and the identities we've built over time. We use them as anchors that tether us to a place of comfort, no matter how painful or restrictive that comfort may be. But at some point, we begin to realize that in order to move forward, we must release our grip on these anchors. We must let go of the past and of the emotional patterns that keep us repeating the same cycle over and over again. To release something is not necessarily to forget about it or to deny it ever happened. It is about recognizing that we no longer need to carry the weight of that experience with us in every moment. It is about making the conscious choice to free ourselves so we can move forward, unburdened, and open to what the future holds. This idea of letting go requires a profound shift in our thinking and in the way we interact with the world. It calls for us to embrace change and to trust in the process of life. The fear of the unknown can be one of the most paralyzing forces in human experience, and the need for control is something deeply ingrained in all of us. We often feel that if we let go, we will lose control, and in losing control, we might lose ourselves. But the reality is that control is often an illusion that keeps us stuck in cycles of anxiety and stress. The first step in the process of letting go is acknowledging the need for change. This involves taking an honest look at our lives, our emotional states, and our behaviors. What are we holding on to? What thoughts, feelings, or experiences are we carrying with us that no longer serve us? We often avoid this step because it requires vulnerability, but it is necessary if we want to break free. In this space of honest reflection, we begin to recognize that our attachment to certain experiences or beliefs has become the very thing limiting our growth. Once we acknowledge the need to let go, the next step is to consciously choose to release. This is where the work begins to feel challenging because it requires us to step out of our comfort zone. We've spent years, even decades, cultivating certain emotional patterns, and now we're being asked to unlearn them. The process isn't easy, and it may feel like an emotional battle. But it's in this struggle that we begin to recognize our own power. Letting go doesn't mean that we will never experience difficulty or pain again. It means that we stop allowing those experiences to control our lives. Once we acknowledge the need to let go, the next step is to consciously choose to release. This is where the work begins to feel challenging because it requires us to step out of our comfort zone. We've spent years, even decades, cultivating certain emotional patterns, and now we're being asked to unlearn them. The process isn't easy, and it may feel like an emotional battle. But it's in this struggle that we begin to recognize our own power. Letting go doesn't mean that we will never experience difficulty or pain again. It means that we stop allowing those experiences to control our lives. To let go is to choose freedom. It is to refuse to let our past experiences define us. It is to step out of the story we have told ourselves about who we are and to embrace the unknown with curiosity and courage. We must trust that life has something better in store for us, even if we can't yet see it. This trust isn't blind faith, it is a deep, inner knowing that everything that happens, even the difficult moments, is part of the unfolding of our greater journey. One of the most important aspects of letting go is realizing that it is a continuous process. We don't simply let go of something once and then move on. Letting go is a daily practice, a conscious effort to choose something different every time we are confronted with the urge to hold on. It's a process of releasing layers upon layers of emotional baggage, limiting beliefs, and old patterns. The key is not to get discouraged when the process seems slow or difficult. The more we practice, the easier it becomes to surrender. We also need to recognize that our environment plays a significant role in shaping the way we hold on to things. The people we surround ourselves with, the media we consume, and the societal norms we follow all influence our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. If we are surrounded by negativity or stuck in environments that reinforce our fears, it becomes much harder to let go. Part of the process of letting go involves consciously choosing to step away from these external influences. This doesn't mean we isolate ourselves. It simply means that we become more intentional about where we invest our energy. There is power in the present moment, and it is in this moment that the practice of letting go becomes transformative. When we are truly present, we are no longer tethered to the past or anxious about the future. We are free to simply be, and in this state of presence, we are able to connect with our truest selves. The truest self is not bound by past trauma, not confined by old stories, and not limited by fear of the unknown. The truest self is expansive, alive, and open to infinite possibilities. In our modern world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions. It is easy to get caught up in the rush of everyday life and lose sight of what truly matters. But if we want to truly let go and live our lives, we must be willing to slow down and reconnect with ourselves. We must learn to trust the silence, to listen to the whispers of our intuition, and to release the constant need for external validation. When we are able to do this, we begin to realize that the answers we seek have always been within us, waiting to be uncovered. We also need to embrace the power of intention. Our intentions are the seeds we plant in the soil of our consciousness. When we set an intention to let go, we are signaling to the universe that we are ready to release what no longer serves us and make space for something greater. Intentions are not passive thoughts. They are active decisions to change the course of our lives. They are the catalysts for transformation. As we release old patterns and beliefs, we begin to create new space in our minds and hearts. This space allows new experiences, new opportunities, and new relationships to enter our lives. But it also requires us to be open to receiving. Many of us have become so accustomed to holding on to the past that we forget how to receive. We may resist change because we fear the unknown, or we may feel unworthy of the blessings that life has to offer. Letting go is not just about releasing. It is about becoming receptive to what life wants to bring us. There is a deep, universal truth that we often forget. We are all connected. When we choose to let go of the things that no longer serve us, we are also choosing to create a ripple effect in the world around us. Our personal healing has the power to heal others, and our transformation has the power to inspire change in the lives of those we encounter. By letting go and living our lives authentically, we contribute to the collective consciousness of humanity. We all face challenges and struggles in life. It's part of the human experience. But when we allow ourselves to let go of the weight of those challenges, we are freed from their grip. The struggles may still exist, but we are no longer defined by them. Instead, we choose to define ourselves by the way we respond to those struggles. We choose to rise above, to learn from our experiences, and to move forward with grace and strength. Letting go doesn't mean that we stop caring or that we give up on our dreams. It means that we stop fighting against the flow of life and allow ourselves to move with it. It means we stop resisting change and begin to flow with the natural rhythm of existence. It means we trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should, and that by letting go of control, we are actually stepping into a place of deeper control, the control that comes from living in alignment with our truest selves. There is great power in the act of surrender. Surrender is not about giving up. It is about giving in to the flow of life and trusting that we are being guided towards something greater than we could ever imagine. Surrender is about releasing the need to force outcomes and instead allowing ourselves to be guided by the wisdom of our hearts. So, how do we begin to let go? It starts with the decision to take that first step. The decision to release the past, to free ourselves from the stories and emotions that no longer serve us, and to open ourselves to the infinite possibilities that await. It is a daily practice of trusting, of being present, of setting intentions, and of remaining open to the flow of life. Every moment is an opportunity to choose. Every moment is a chance to let go and embrace the life we were always meant to live.